I'm Julia Jones. I was formerly a Baptist, and I joined this church in 1963. I am a native of Albany, Georgia, but I grew up in Bay Minette. I graduated from the University of Alabama and received my master's from Troy State University. I met Ivan when I came to Foley to teach school, and I taught 25 years in Baldwin County. Our two sons, Daryl and John, were born in Foley. As a member of the church, I taught Sunday school, Bible school, was a member of WOC, serving as a moderator. Henry Cool was my Sunday school teacher, and he was a wonderful teacher because he knew so much about the Bible. And he was also our financial secretary. His wife, Martha, taught my two sons Sunday school. They enjoyed going to her house to visit her home because she had so many pets and animals and interesting things there. Both she and her husband were really wonderful people. Ella Hamburg started the bell choir for the youth. My older son was a member, and she was also the welcome wagon lady for the city of Foley. And I'm sure that she influenced a lot of people, newcomers, to come visit our church. She loved our church, and we're very fortunate to have the painting that she did of the church, and she gave to us. Ivan and I were very fortunate, as were other people, to have known and had Smokey and Nancy Denton as our friends. They would do anything for the church and also anything for anybody in the church. At one time, our WOC, and that would be the women of the church, got special permission from the Presbyterian to have a fundraiser. Noreen Welch was in charge of PW's Christmas Bazaar, which was held in the 1970s. The ladies met in the basement of the old church a couple of times a week, and we would make items that we were going to sell at the bazaar. And one of those items were Christmas bells, red and green little Christmas bells that were knitted by Meta Christensen, who was a charter member of this church. Jane Thompson Glisson was in charge of the chicken gumbo lunch that we served in connection with the church, with the bazaar, Martha Robinson invited me to attend my first circle meeting at her home. And at one time, Martha, her daughter Mary, and I painted the living room of the manse on Pine Street in order to get it ready for the arrival of Julian and Carolyn Walthall and their two children. Julian enjoyed working with the youth, and he was a great help to me in situations at that time with my older son, Daryl. And I appreciated that very much. Now, at one time, the church held family night suppers, and each member of the church or family would bring a dish. And I particularly remember that Margaret Malone, who is Bob's mother, brought her delicious macaroni and cheese. Martha Robinson brought English pea salad, and Dorothy Decker, who was Wayne Parker's mother-in-law, brought homemade pickles. And my favorite were her green tomato pickles. They were so good. Dorothy and Harry this was his mother, Dorothy and Harry were very long-time members of the church, as well as his mother, and her name was Alma. And she would always knit baby bibs for any new baby that was born into the congregation. And I wanted you to see, they're not knitted, they're crocheted. Very pretty little bibs, very delicate, of which obviously when the baby wears them, they're going to spit up on them, which I just didn't realize that. Beth Ecker and I attended the Alabama-Mississippi Conference in Tuscaloosa one year, And she and I became very, very close friends. She was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed knowing her. Another person that I admired was Edna Sinclair. Edna Sinclair was always encouraging. She was so nice to me and thoughtful, and I never really realized at the time I knew her that her life had been filled with so many things that she did and so many causes that she stood up for. And she was really a wonderful lady. And I remember going to her house for circle meetings, and I think one time she had a whole group out for dinner at her house one night. I don't really remember the occasion, but I know it was very, very nice. During the time that Sanford Turner was here, our church grew very much. We increased in the size of the congregation, and of course we eventually built our new church. And one of the things I remember about Sanford was that he loved to cook, and he would a lot of times prepare some of the main dishes that we would have at our functions. And he was also very good about visiting people. And it seems like he would usually come by and see me on Friday afternoons after a week at school. I think he wanted to cheer me up a bit. I enjoyed him, his wife Carol, and their 2 children. There are a lot of other people that I wish I could tell you about. They were all wonderful, very special people. I wish that you had known them. But all of you have taken their places, and you contribute so much to the church and will continue to do so.